Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. You join us for another episode of Dynamite, Rampage, Collision and Shockwave. God knows how long Shockwave will be around for. Might slowly peter out soon, because obviously the tournaments are coming to an end. But this is the go home week for the Sting Tribute show, so we'll probably put together a lot more matches for that one. After the Dynamite episode, at least I think I've got 8 matches penciled in, so that's pretty solid. But there's quite a lot of big names missing off the card, so that's quite encouraging, making of such a card with so many missing. And then after that, the long road to Double or Nothing. But I'm quite happy where we're at. I think the tournament's hopefully been good in terms of the development, but looking forward to a lot more storyline stuff, because I realise there's a lot of people that just haven't been seen. I mean, minimal time for MGF, minimal time for Kazuchika Okada, and that's just naming 2 of countless others that may have been hindered by that tournament. But if it helps us have a thriving women's division, I'm all for it. So yeah, sit back, relax and enjoy this week's episode, starting off with AEW Dynamite. So this is encouraging looking at that rating, but we're in the Cure Insurance Arena. So we start off the show with a promo. So the fact we got this rating in 86 with Adam Copeland cutting a promo, and he speaks on Darby Allin and he speaks on the Young Bucks as well. So it says, so people are wondering, why did I save Darby Allin? Why me of all people? Well, let me remind you all of Full Gear 2023, one of the most satisfying moments of my career, standing alongside Sting and Darby Allin to battle the patriarchy. During that time I had a great bond with both, and it was especially a great moment for me as I looked up to Sting as I grew up. I also remember when I debuted here in AEW that Darby Allin helped me out so much. If we want to dig a little bit deeper into this though, the Young Bucks have always claimed to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Well, I might not be in a tag team right now, but I would certainly like to dispute that. This Sunday, myself and Darby, we will take down the Young Bucks, and we do it for this Stinger. So basically confirming that's his intentions, that's why he's going to be teaming with Darby Allin for that. I'll probably make it the main event as well, Adam Copeland, Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. A solid 86, so all the pressure is on the main event. Our opening contest of the evening is probably over-delivered as well. It was about to have some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, as Io Shirai defeated Mina Shirakawa in 10:44 with a moonsault press. This was designed to steal the show, and they certainly did that. A 71 for the wrestling, 51 for the crowd, and a 77 segment. Io Shirai bring an 87 as these two had great chemistry together, and a fine matchup in Group C of the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix. We then had a Group B matchup, which also had great chemistry, so this is working out quite well. And about had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Jamie Hayter defeated Maki Ito in 8:10 with a Falcon Arrow. So a 66, 47, 70. Great performance here, gets Jamie up to a 79. Impressive stuff there. Then had a promo, and it was from the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. So just basically talking about the situation with Wheeler Yuta and of course the Death Riders. So obviously I'm deeply devastated after all that trust and support I put into Wheeler Yuta, that he's opted to throw it in my face and join up with Mox and the rest of the Death Riders. But he forgets what me, him and Sammy were doing. We wanted to help shape AEW, help bring in the future. Some old friends have come in and helped support that, as the numbers continue to grow in the battle lines, obviously referring to the likes of the Bang Bang Gang getting involved and still being involved in certain circumstances, and the Undisputed Kingdom as well. Basically talking about just global stable warfare. I've made some phone calls and I'll get some support when the time is right, meaning more people are going to come in. But first and foremost, my focus has to be on beating Mox. Take down the Death Riders. Yuta, I hate to say it, you might just be a stepping stone on my way to doing that. So again, he's kind of disregarding Wheeler Yuta. He's just basically showcasing, that this, the grander scheme of things is AEW, and Yuta's a stepping stone to making sure AEW is massive. A massive change. So a 72 for that segment. Yeah, we'll see how that story unfolds. Decent match up next. Mercedes Moné defeats Taya Valkyrie in 8:29 with the bank statement. This is our storytelling matchup. I felt to be the poorest of the card. I think it's Mercedes' last Group A victory, Group A match. She ends with 24 points from 27. 55 for the wrestling, 52 for the crowd, and a 59 for the segment. Also in Group A, we saw a decent matchup that saw Toni Storm pick up the win over Sky Blue in 9:15 with Strong Zero. 61 for the wrestling, 51 for the crowd, but a 67 segment, meaning that Toni Storm only needs a win or even a draw against Hikaru Shida to win Group A. However, after the match-up, Toni Storm picks up the win, but wait a minute, Mercedes Moné is straight in the ring and she is attacking Toni Storm, trying to weaken her down. And now Sky Blue, she's up, what will she do? She's joining in the beatdown, both of them are beating Toni down. And they stand above her, and Mercedes Moné and Sky Blue shake hands, basically confirming an alliance. But it might be too little too late. Out of nowhere, a future opponent in the tournament, Hikaru Shida, has come running down to the ring with a kendo stick, and she chases the heels off, standing and checking on Toni Storm. We then have Tony Schiavone confirmed that this Saturday on Collision we will see that group matchup, Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm. Toni needs a point, Shida needs to win, Mercedes pretty much needs a Shida win as well. So 56 for that. And yeah, not amazing stuff, but it kind of continues the whole kind of feud in this group. Aligns Mercedes Moné alongside Sky Blue. I need to figure out what I'm doing with Camille, because she is still in, technically with Mercedes in this. We'll just say she wasn't available at this point. Obviously Mercedes decided to make the run in herself, so you could say Moné Corporation is Mercedes, Camille and Sky Blue. And hopefully we can build up her, because she's got a lot to develop with, but they say, you know, she's one to look out for in this. Next up we had a decent wild brawl that saw Roderick Strong defeat Mark Briscoe in 11:23 while using the ropes for leverage. Sadly only a 64, I thought these two would, you know, make some good stuff happen here. But not too bad, and it basically kicks off the proper storyline of Stable Warfare Part 2. Of course, including FTR, Mark Briscoe, and the Undisputed Kingdom. So I say there's going to be about 7 factions involved in this. And then after the matchup, a simple, effective 6-man brawl all around ringside. So obviously we'll start with the beatdown. We'll say that Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole come down for a 3-on-1 beatdown. Wheeler and Dax jump in as well, so it is 3v3, they brawl over the place, up the ramp. Continues the storyline with a 60 segment, building up that matchup for Sunday. We then had a Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group D matchup that saw Chris Statlander defeat Serena Deeb in 9:22 with Big Bang Theory. I was sceptic at this one, I felt like it is two completely different styles, but overall a 60-46 and a 63 segment sees Stat pick up a good win. And our main event was champion versus champion, and it was about that had superb wrestling, great heat. Orange Cassidy defeats Konosuke Takeshita in 22:10 with the beach break. Probably should have advertised it during the show, but I felt like this was a good victory. It does lead to something. 84 for the wrestling, 65 crowd, 82 segment, so we should definitely be getting pop here. OC with 79, Takeshita with 89. And we finished the show. He scraped the victory out of nowhere, but Takeshita then gets back up, he spins him around, and he hits him with the blue thunder bomb. Then on the ramp, we hear from Swerve Strickland. You'll see, I guess I got to tell you this one, but in the ring right now, that is my partner for this Sunday. Good luck finding yours. So a 70 rated segment here, but confirming it's going to be Orange Cassidy and a partner taking on Konosuke Takeshita and Swerve Strickland for the Sting tribute show. Overall, an 82 increase of popularity in 15 regions. I'd say that's a pretty solid show. Main event was fine. Copeland promo was good. And was slowly but surely getting there with the women's tournament. Any locker room incidents before Rampage? Oh, Jeff Jarrett and Pac got into a huge argument. And that was it. Anyway, I shall book Rampage. We'll go over the results for Rampage and then we'll look into Collision. So moving on to Rampage, quite delighted to see that taping of Dynamite and Rampage was nearly 7,500. We utilised it basically just to get more of the matches done on the women's tournament. So I might more than likely see that completed, obviously with Shockwave and then the shows next week. So we'll just run through what happened. We had Mina Shirakawa defeat Thunder Rosa. Had some words from Mina afterwards, which was a 57. Athena defeated Alex Windsor to give her a 55, putting her in a very strong position. Tay Mello defeated Misa Ruga, which was a 46. We had some words from the trio, or basically you could say mentor, pupil and intimidating force in the form of Rhino there, but Raven obviously speaking with Jack Perry. Marina Shafir defeated Arisa Nakajima, which was a 61. We had some words from Athena talking about, how she's looking good in her group against Jamie Hayter, and that was a 77, so a big boost there with Athena's promo. And your main event saw Willow Nightingale defeat Azumi in a 68. So the group's looking tight. I will cover that at the end of the episode because obviously there's big implications on Collision and Shockwave before we head into tomorrow's in-game Sting Tribute show. So that was Rampage. We'll jump into Collision. So we're at the Whittemore Centre for this one. A bit of a heads up. The matches were booked like a week ago. I just couldn't get to TEW to basically write out the promos. So I'm hoping everything links up because the card is set for tomorrow's show and it looks pretty banging. So hopefully it all makes sense. But anyway, we started off with about had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Had Wheeler Yuta defeat Kip Sabian in 7:13 by submission with the Yuta lock. This one sadly only got a 53. I wasn't too sure how they would link up together. Sadly, they didn't click and it showed in the performances. But I felt like start Yuta off with victories over somebody like Kip Sabian and it can build from there. Would help if I clicked it. So we then have some words from John Moxley, who joins Wheeler Yuta in the ring. And he says, let this man go, see him thrive. This is what you could have been leading, Brian. So I know that you're pretty seething and that you want to get your hands on me. One day, maybe you can jump for every hoop that I put in front of you, then you'll maybe get your hands on me. So enter stage 1 tomorrow. You've mentioned that you've got others in waiting wanting to join up with you, Brian. Well, let them step up. Tomorrow night, Yuta, Pac and Claudio versus you, Zayn, and whoever the hell you've got, because you can't step up to the Death Riders level. This level of violence is unprecedented and your fragile body will get hurt. So I think the end game will eventually be Brian and Mox, but as I say, he's got to jump through a lot of hoops to get there. And basically confirming and setting up tomorrow night, Moxley will be an eager bystander watching this one, as Yuta, Pac and Claudio will take on Danielson, Sami Zayn, and a mystery partner. So that was a 65. Yuta performed poorly. He was only off non-speaking appearance. Moxley promo, and the storyline advances but loses heat. I'd expect this would have normally been a good promo, but I need to line up with storylines. So if we lose Pop, it's because it's actually trying to do storylines, which would be a shame. Next up, decent matchup. Mariah May defeated Thekla in 7:26 with a reverse bulldog. I felt like at the card this was the weakest match, so it was storytelling, but it's 3 points within the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group C. Overall was a 58 and both of them had great chemistry together and that showed in their performances, so that gave it a little bit of a boost as well. We then had a promo from Mariah May unscripted, so that's given her a lovely improvisation score of 72. So you've just witnessed the Glamour Me, Mariah May, take another win to go to 24 points, which means both me and Io Shirai have 24 points and cannot be caught in our group. Tomorrow night at the Sting Tribute show, we will go head to head and see who is the winner of the group and go on to compete in the finals of the Grand Prix. Io, I know you have a match later on tonight, so let's hope all those preparations go to plan. I still don't know how I'm going to do it at Double or Nothing, if it'll be a semi-final or a final, so I've just said finals. It's either going to be a semi-final or a final or a fatal 4-way. But a 72 anyway. Interesting what Mariah May says to Io Shirai if she's got a match up later tonight. In Group C, we had a decent little brawl that saw Queen Aminata defeat Thunder Rosa in 9:39 by pinfall. 54, 40, 57, that's pretty good stuff there. I just felt like it was good to give Queen a victory here. She's never had as many victories as I would have liked. And I suppose Thunder Rosa, it's not 50-50 booking, but truthfully, it's not far off. We then had a matchup that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Sky Blue defeated Io Shirai in 11:52 by pinfall with a slice bread following a distraction from Mariah May. Now you're wondering, what the hell? I realised within the next couple of days a promise that Io Shirai gave to put Sky Blue over was going to expire. I had to put a match up together very, very quickly. You get a distraction from Mariah May, which then helps set up that Mariah May Io Shirai matchup for tomorrow night. There's a bit of tension between them, there's a bit of heat. And at the same time, with Sky Blue now under the power of Mercedes Moné, looking to make her impress her, That's kind of a victory there that kind of shows, she's got something about her. But the fact that Io can still do an 88 and drags a 75 out of Sky Blue, she's got a long way to go in terms of development, but if we can get her over, then maybe some of her stuff goes more to popularity rather than in-ring. But yeah, that's only going to help her development. So thank you, Io Shirai. We then had a bout that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Hikaru Shida defeated Toni Storm in 11:02 with the Falcon Arrow. I'll let these two go out and steal the show, and I think they delivered that one. So 72 for the wrestling, 54 for the crowd, 72 for the segment. They had good chemistry, which lifted the match up as well, which means that Group C's Toni Storm, Hikaru Shida and Mercedes Moné all tied on points. Wow. During that matchup, I decided to have Mercedes Moné on commentary, and she gave a few points in this matchup. She just basically said what a great job by Sky Blue, she's developing greatly, and she's going to be a great member of the Moné Corporation, or Moné Corporation. She cheers on Shida the whole matchup, but she's confused a bit by the stipulation for who wins the group. She's like, what's happening next? What's happening next? Don't worry, it's explained later on in the show. But a 59 for that segment with Mercedes Moné. We had a decent matchup here that saw Jamie Hayter defeat Willow Nightingale in 13:42 with the Falcon Arrow. I made these two go out and steal the show as well, and I thought they'd deliver, but yeah, look at the difference between Jamie and Willow. Maybe need to put a bit more into Willow, as I say, off her game, but I'd still expect her to maybe be close to Jamie's ratings, but we've got to work on that. So it's part of Group B, 63-49 and 67 for the segment. So we hear from Jamie Hayter. She says, Athena, a statement has been made. Tomorrow night we're going to go to war. The winner is going to go to the finals. I'm the best woman in this division, so the fans better drink up your Haterade, because you're going to have a lot of it to intake. I couldn't think of some mad catchphrase, so we went with that one. But 62, tomorrow night we're getting Jamie Hayter versus Athena to win the group. We then cut backstage to the Women's Authority figure, who is of course Jessie McKay. She confirms 2 matchups. She says tomorrow night at the Sting Tribute Show we are going to see Hikaru Shida team up with Toni Storm to battle Moné Corporation's Mercedes Moné and Sky Blue. And while a day has not been confirmed, we will see on a future Dynamite Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida versus Mercedes Moné. The winner goes to the Final 4 at Double or Nothing. So yeah, managed to make it all make sense at 61. But I say all groups will be rounded up after Shockwave once we get a few more matches done from the lesser talents on that. And the main event was a technical masterclass that had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as the American Dragon Bryan Danielson defeats Lee Moriarty in 17:46 by submission with a cattle mutilation. So 76-49 and 79 for the matchup itself. Bryan with a fantastic 89, a 63 there for Lee, and you can see the pretty good chemistry lifted the matchup as well. But I just felt a good classic gives Bryan a victory. And after the matchup, the mega battle, a fallen Lee Moriarty starts to slowly rise to his feet. Bryan walks over and he basically moves something off to him. We don't really see it. Lee shows the effects of the battle and Bryan offers him a handshake. Lee Moriarty hesitates for a minute, but he eventually accepts it before clapping Bryan, and then he heads to the back whilst Bryan grabs the mic. He says, now that brings me to tomorrow night. Mox, you're right, the end game is you, but don't underestimate how good Claudio Pac and Yuta are. I'm fully ready for them. Sammy is ready for them. And after contacting him earlier, the third man is ready, and he really likes wrestling. So we are going to see that 6-man tag tomorrow night. Bryan Danielson, Sami Zayn, a guy that likes wrestling, and they're going to take on the team of Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta from the Death Riders. So a 71 overall. As I say, it didn't really matter that the two angles were mixed because the promo was still in a 71, so it's not too bad. But yeah, Collision sets up most of the stuff for tomorrow, and we'll round up the card after Shockwave. So we finish the show. We don't lose Pop, which is good. We increase it in 3 regions across the world. And of course, none of the matches really affected storylines, but I can't really set up the women's storylines proper until we know the final couple. Anything before Shockwave, locker room wise? All is good. So let's book Shockwave and see where we are for the Sting Tribute Show. So now time for Shockwave in front of 5,500 at the Whittlemore Centre. Small highlight package to start the show, just highlighting the career of Sting in AEW alongside Darby Allin. This one sadly only gets a 45, but I feel we do need to kind of include these. And you'll include these in the pay-per-view as well, or not the pay-per-view, it's a special event, it'll probably be on the network. I wouldn't be charging fans to watch this, it's a bit harsh. First matchup in the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group B. We had a decent matchup here, crowd with subpar wrestling. Anna Jay defeats Camille in 7-12 with submission, the Queen Slayer finish. Storytelling matchup, weakest match of the night I believe, and a 46 overall. As I say, we'll try to push Anna Jay quite strong. And yeah, Mercedes won't be happy with Camille as part of the Monet Corporation. Next matchup in Group C, decent matchup. Mina Shirakawa defeats Riho in 9:05 with the GSS. But pretty decent stuff there. 55 Mina, 60 for Riho, and a 60 overall. And in Group C again, and it was about to have decent wrestling but not much heat, as Queen Aminata defeats Ryo Mizunami in 7:58 by pinfall. I feel ashamed for Riho. She's actually been really good for us, but she's lost every matchup to put her talents over. And again, a 60 is the outcome. We then had a little segment here where the remarkable Renee Paquette speaking to Lee Moriarty. She grabs a word with him. Lee, I just want to speak to you about last night. A great battle with Bryan Danielson. He says, yeah, it was a great battle. It's a shame I lost, but it shows I can hang with the best of them in AEW. I need to show this more often, and if the opportunity arises, I will. So 49, decent stuff. Renee's performance was fantastic, and Lee's hinting at a face turn at one point. Next up, well, Brawl that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Sareee defeats Maxi Impaler in 8:28 with a Sun Ray dropkick. That was in Group D. We are kind of getting those matches out of the way that are kind of, I wouldn't say dead rubber, because it can lead to someone being, in a good position in the future. These two actually done quite well. I was a bit worried with the Wild Brawl on Sareee, but a 67 still shows a good performance. She was an amazing for him. The crowd sadly didn't believe they were invested in either of them, so it resulted in a 46. Next up, again the crowd not too invested, but I thought these two would steal the show, and truthfully actually expected a bit better from them in terms of in-ring performance. But there was about to had some good heat and little heat, good wrestling and little heat, as Yuka Sakazaki defeats Saru Inoi in 8:54 with the Magical Girl Splash. So a good win there for Yuka. Made it steal the show. Would have probably been, I think, mid-60s, but sadly, because of the crowd, just a 52. We then had Renee Paquette interviewing Athena, and I was hoping this would do similar to her promo the other night, but not to be. So Jamie Hayter, you want us to drink the Haterade? Excuse me, you think you're impressive? Look at me, I'm the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion in history. I'm your 2-time TBS champion, which I still am right now, and I will add the Super Shine Grand Prix to my ever-growing list of accomplishments. I'm not being arrogant, I'm just on the run of my life, and I'm determined to keep it up. So 67, Athena builds more heat to face Jamie Hayter. In Group D, it was a decent matchup that saw Megan Bayne defeat Marina Shafir in 8:17 by pinfall. A 54 for the wrestling and a 55 overall, so both of them are quite level in terms of popularity, but I feel Megan Bayne's going to take a bigger push because of obviously the pregnancy of Deonna Purrazzo. And we had another promo here, so we're definitely losing pop because I was hoping this would be a bit better. So you boys think you can come ahead and take these trios championships away from me and FTR? Says Mark Briscoe. Now you may be friends a long time, but look at the wars that me and my brother Jay went through with FTR. Proper, intense, dangerous stuff, and these guys became my brothers through that. We know their factions grown here in AEW, and everyone's going to war, and we're going to have to be at the top of our game to be at the top of that. So obviously Briscoe and FTR know that Undisputed Kingdom want the Trios Championships, but there's many other factions that can be dangerous. So that's a 62. We're 100% losing pop here. Your main event is Cash Wheeler versus Roderick Strong. And yeah, not great. Decent matchup. Roddy defeats Cash in 13:59. A double knee gutbuster. Didn't make him steal the show, but yeah, Roddy off his game. Still gets a 64. Cash only by a 52. And it's a 61 overall. So we shouldn't see Shockwave. Shockwave's an interesting one because it was brought for the tournaments. It is going to be mostly tag team stuff going forward. But yeah, it's been in a position where, what do we do with Shockwave after Double or Nothing? I'm more than likely inclined to go B-Show and just use it to help develop stuff, but we'll see. So only a 62, which causes a popularity loss in 26 regions. We do gain in 20, but to be expected. It was a case of resting a lot of people ahead of tomorrow's show. 3.6 million profit. As I say, the broadcast revenue is just OP as hell. Pretty much up to our standard finances. We did take a big loss in putting a lot of money into, I believe, America, and then a few other kind of more popular places. So it does give us a big hit in a lot of places, but we are only 3 away. And as I say, we could gain all that back with a massive show tomorrow night. We'll jump into the main screen and see what kind of news items have popped up, and we'll take a look at the standings in the tournaments as we head into the Sting Tribute show. I think there's like minimal women's matches still to go, like that have no real implications, so they'll probably take place on Rampage, and then we'll start to really home in and focus on the Briscoes Tag Team Cup. So FTR Trios champions, but also are going to have a little bit of an issue with the tag titles as well. Drake Maverick and Akam are having an argument, probably because Drake Maverick peed himself on screen. Billy Kidman and Jamie Noble are having a lovely friendship. Tenzan's retiring. Backlash took place. We'll have a look at that one. Stardom are giving Milano Collection AT a new contract. Infinite directly affects us. Collision Report drawn a lot of praise. And, well, Shockwave wasn't great. And people found it underwhelming. That's fair enough. Anything else here? Rey Mysterio Sr. retirement. Okay. Johnny Swinger, Danny Doring. So a lot of people are retiring. I did have one of those days where just constant people decided they wanted to broaden their horizons. So if you tend to get that, it's like just a lot of people at one time. And Kiera Hogan is injured for a week. That's fine. Amar can have a wee quick look at Backlash. Randy Orton defeats Cody Rhodes to retain the Undisputed title in 92. So that's putting pressure on us to get these good matches, because WWE are still getting fantastic main event matches. See a promo there about 91 for Roman Reigns. And if we just drop through another couple of matches, Drew McIntyre defeats CM Punk and Damian Priest in a cage match to retain the WWE World Heavyweight title, 79. And Rey Mysterio overcomes the odds to defeat Braun Strowman to retain the Intercontinental Championship. And two other matches we cover in the women's division. Jade Cargill defeats Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair to retain the women's title, 73. And we saw Bayley team up with Rhea Ripley to defeat the team of Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss, which was an 82. As for your other women's title, just because I've seen it there, Zelina Vega defeats Dakota Kai to retain that at 66. Please just push Dakota Kai at one point. We confirm the signing of Kushida on a 1-year handshake deal, as we look to extend the contract of Mansoor. And we're also going to look to bring in Ishii. He's confirmed he is going to be retiring, so I thought, let's do what AEW done. Give him a small wee run, and then we can retire into the sunset. And you can see here just confirmation of Sanada's interested, but I'm injured, but I'm forgetting. That's just because we're scouting New Japan. I was a bit scared there. A year with a tone code for him. That's fine for Kiera Hogan. Mariah May says that Kip Sabian is charismatic. Could we push Kip Sabian? Maybe we should make a wee rule. If somebody gets an opinion for somebody that's good, we need to push them. But I'll see what I can do with Kip. Shockwave, 6 million viewers, and 1.1 for Collision. Just to show you, by the way, if I can find it, AEW Network. It's very big now in the US, big in Canada, Mexico, the UK, medium in Japan, medium in Europe, Oceania, big in India. And last but not least, we'll quickly jump to tournament modes. So no real changes in the tag division. 3 wins from 3 from Aussie Open. Get 2 wins from 3 for Lucha Bros and Top Flight. No wins for the Outrunners and the Righteous. And the Kingdom have 1 win from 3 and 4 respectively. Group B, 3 wins from 3 from FTR, 3 from 3 from the Kings of the Black Throne, 2 from 2 from the MXM Collection. Nobody else has any wins. You could even say at this point that the Acclaimed and Daddy Magic and Kohan Ange are already out. And in Group C, lots of matches to take place here. Obviously, we're waiting on the return of James Drake, and then they'll be flying through these matches. But at the moment, Private Party and the Guns lead the way in Group C. For the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, well, you can see there's only 2 matches to go. Taya Valkyrie has to face Mi Saruga and Gazelle Shaw has a matchup against Takuma Roha. But we have a triple threat tie for the lead, or for the championship effectively. So it is going to be a triple threat match: Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, and Hikaru Shida for winning that group. Group B, well, we are pretty much going to decide it at the pay-per-view, at the event, as Athena takes on Jamie Hayter to go with a full perfect score and a J-Weight 18, and then you get a few matches to go there. Saraya could maybe claw herself back in. She has 2 matches to go, but yeah, a few people on 12 points. Group C, it all comes down to Mariah May versus Io Shirai, who will take the victory. And pretty impressive showings as well from Mina Shirakawa, who could go to 18 points with a win over the winless Ryo Mizunami. And I'd say pretty good stuff as well from Queen Aminata, who batters Thekla. And Thunder Rosa had 15 points in her campaign. And in Group D, well, it is pretty much a 2-horse race between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Chris Statlander. They will not face off at the Sting Show. That match will happen at Dynamite at 1 point. And the only other matchup in this group is Arisa Nakajima versus Megan Bayne at 1 point. So lots of stuff still to come. I'm just going to quickly run through what I've got planned at the moment for the Sting Tribute Show. Obviously, Darby Allin and Adam Copeland will take on the Young Bucks. We've got Sami Zayn versus Jay White. The Trios Championship on the line is FTR and Mark Briscoe defend against O'Reilly, Strong and Adam Cole. Athena versus Jamie Hayter. Orange Cassidy and a mystery partner versus Swerve Strickland and Takeshita. Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné and Sky Blue. Brian, Sammy. Oh, I have a double book Sammy. Well, that was silly of me. I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do with that one. And yeah, I've double booked Sammy. So Brian's going to need someone to help him out in these matches. That's fine. Garcia versus someone for the TNT Championship. And Mariah May versus Io Shirai. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with Jay White and Sami Zayn. I've got a plan. I hope. So you do too many things at once, you end up double booking someone. So how are we going to figure this one out? Leave it with me. We'll see what happens for Shockwave. So cheers for watching for the Sting Tribute Show. So cheers for watching. Take it easy. Remember, check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Greenhill Software Forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And a wee thumbs up would be deeply appreciated. But take it easy, and hopefully less mistakes on the next video. See ya, bye bye.